Hey guys, it's Chris, and in today's video, I'm showing off some more comic books from my collection. This collection, or this haul, consists of Spawn and The Amazing Spider-Man, and a couple few other surprises, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Today's video is sponsored by Raise Energy by Rep Sports. Use my coupon code, you'll get 15% off on all items on the website. Demand more, be more. Fun fact, Raise Energy actually won Clash of the Cans for 2021 and for 2022. So it's a fun little fact. That's what this shirt is. You know, back-to-back champions. They actually won Clash of the Clans for 2021 and 2022. So I really hope they win it for the, third year for 2023. I think that'd be really good for Raise Energy. So, and if you haven't checked out my Raise T video or even my Evil Dead Rise video, make sure you check out those ones. I figured I'd do some comic books because those videos are a little bit quicker, a little bit easier than review videos, because review videos, I have to put a lot more work into it. So I was like, all right, I'll do some comic books while we wait for the next review. Let's get into it. All right, first we have Spawn with Batman. Now this is like a comic book issue with Spawn and Batman. It's like kind of like a crossover with Spawn and Batman, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Don't really show off a lot of crossover comic books, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna show this one off. Spawn and Batman. I am the shadows. I am vengeance. I am the Batman. Batman and Spawn. Now this one doesn't have like an issue number, like it doesn't say issue 1 or issue 2, so this is why this is the first one, because it doesn't have a number. But I still think it is a comic book. It just looks more like a graphic novel, but it is a comic book. Next, I have Spider-Man and the Black Cat. The evil that men do. Now, if I remember correctly, in the Spider-Man PS4 game they released in 2018, when Peter Parker and Mary Jane were on a break, Peter Parker actually hooked up with Black Cat. Even like the bad ending of Web of Shadows, you can team up with Black Cat and you can send all the evil symbiotes all over the city, and Spider-Man hooks up with Black Cat. And this is part 4 of 6, so this is probably like a 6-part mini-series, and this is just part 4. Next, we have Road to the Hunted, The Amazing Spider-Man. Now this has Kraven the Hunter in it, and now Kraven the Hunter was supposed to get his own solo movie in October, but unfortunately that got delayed to 2024. Hopefully the movie's good. I haven't really been a big fan of Sony's cinematic universe, with Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage. I thought those movies were okay, but Morbius, that was just awful. So hopefully Kraven the Hunter is at least up there with the Venom movies, where it's like, it's at least good. It may not be amazing or terrific, but it's good. If you want media that does Kraven the Hunter justice, look at Spider-Man 2 for PS5, October 20th. He's essentially the main villain of Spider-Man 2 for PS5. Venom is there, but Kraven the Hunter is kind of like the catalyst of the story. He's the catalyst of the story. He's essentially going to be the main villain, and he's going to be coming to New York City to hunt Spider-Man. So I think that adaptation of Kraven the Hunter is going to be really good. But I think the live action one, the Sony, what they're trying to do, it looks okay. I'm not really excited for it, but it looks okay. I think they did really well with the Venom movies, but Morbius, that was just a blood-sucking turd that was awful. Wait until you see my first edition Spawn that I have that's a GameStop exclusive. So you make sure you stay tuned for that. Most of this haul does include Spider-Man, particularly the Amazing Spider-Man. So there is a few Spawn surprises in it. Next, we have the Amazing Spider-Man. And I do enjoy the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I think the best one out of the Amazing Spider-Man is the second one. I might get a lot of hate for that, but I just like the second one a little bit better. I think it's paced out a little bit better. The effects are just a little bit better, but I just think overall it's paced better and the story was a little bit more entertaining. But I did like the first Amazing Spider-Man. I just thought the pacing was really odd. The Amazing Spider-Man, and this is issue 16. Next, we have The Amazing Spider-Man. We have Rhino smashing right through a window, and you got Spider-Man just sitting there drinking some coffee. Okay. I would love to see that in a live action Spider-Man movie, like an actual Rhino versus Spider-Man, like an actual live action fight. Like they teased it at the end of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I would love to actually see a live action version of Rhino versus Spider-Man. And even the Kraven the Hunter trailer for the new Sony movie, Kraven the Hunter, they teased Rhino in the movie. Why are you putting all these other villains, Spider-Man villains, in your Sony movies if Spider-Man's not even in it? Why can't you save a live-action Rhino for another live-action Spider-Man movie? This is The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 14. Next, we have this awesome Spawn cover art. Definitely one from the 90s. I could tell by the way the font is and the way the style of the cover art is. You can definitely tell Spawn. When you see Spawn, you can definitely immediately tell, okay, that's Spawn with the big cape. And Spawn definitely stands out compared to other heroes, or not heroes, he's more of like an anti-hero, but Spawn definitely stands out, and I think that's why I personally like Spawn, is because he's an interesting character. Next, we have Creatures of the Night, part 2 of 4, Prowler. Now, the main reason why I wanted to show this one off again is because I really do like the ending of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. If you haven't seen that, here's your spoiler warning. Miles Morales gets sent back to Earth 42. Now, Earth 42 was the dimension where the spider that bit Miles was supposed to go. But because it didn't bite the Spider-Man from that universe, Earth 42 now doesn't have a Spider-Man. And because of that, instead of Uncle Aaron dying, Miles' dad dies in Earth 42. So when Miles goes to that universe, he's thinking like, wait a minute, that was where the spider was supposed to go that bit me. And 2099 tells Miles, hey, you were the original anomaly. You were the one that caused all these anomalies in the multiverse. You were the original one. That spider that bit you wasn't supposed to bite you. It was supposed to bite Peter Parker in this universe. And because of that, Earth 42's Miles Morales, because he lost his dad, he becomes the Prowler. So Miles Morales in Earth 42 is the Prowler, not Uncle Aaron. He's the Prowler. And the way it ends like, hey, Miles is the Prowler in this universe. Like, it's like, nah, you know what? That spider was supposed to bite Peter Parker, but it didn't. You know what? Whatever. I'll be the Prowler. My dad died. This Earth is filled with crime, so I'm going to be the Prowler. So I did not see that coming. It was spoiled for me on Twitter, the ending, how Earth 42 Miles is the Prowler. It was spoiled for me, but actually seeing it play out in the movie, I was still shocked by it. Like, what? And it's like, okay, I guess Miles is evil in this Earth or this dimension, Earth 42. I definitely do like that twist at the end of Cross the Spider-Verse. I did not see it coming, even if it was spoiled on me. Like, how it was executed, it still had a shock to it. Prowler, and this is issue number 2. Next, we have King Spawn. Now, this is my first edition that I wanted to show you off. Like, I knew I showed off a lot of The Amazing Spider-Man and a lot of Spider-Man themed ones, but I was like, issue 1, first edition's really gonna be good. It's a King Spawn. And I got this the other day at GameStop, and this comic is a GameStop exclusive. And it was like super cheap. It was like $5-6. So, you know, it may not be a super rare one, but I do like the design of it. It's got Spawn. It's got Solomon Grundy looking guy at the top. Like, he looks all mean and like ugly. And I just like King Spawn, and I like the Spawn series. I know they're two different things, but it's still essentially Spawn. Just King Spawn is like a newer series, where Spawn, that's been around since the 90s. I think late 80s, I'm pretty sure, but 90s. So I do like anything Spawn. I've been really trying to get into it. I've talked about Spawn a couple times. Like, you know, my dad was a big fan of him. He thought the live action movie was okay. It wasn't very good. Has awful 90s CGI, but the comic books of Spawn are actually really good. Don't let that movie turn you off or, oh, this isn't good. The Spawn comic books are actually pretty good and interesting. And I heard that they're actually supposed to make another live-action Spawn movie. And I heard this one's supposed to be rated R. Maybe that will be better than that one, because the one in the 90s was PG-13. So if they do make a new live-action Spawn movie, please make it rated R. King Spawn, and this is issue number 1, first edition. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Peace.